Your actions have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to the world of assassination and the trending contracts. And today's contract, Death in the Family Redux, set on Dartmoor. And the contract ID is up on the screen now for anyone who wishes to have a crack at it, and has been supplied to us today, courtesy of Throw Bread at Me. So on to our briefing, and there isn't one, so we'll just say that our targets today have been rather naughty and they need to be punished. And speaking of targets, today we have 5 of them with no stipulations on how we dispatch them or what we wear whilst we do so we have a free map. So for today's challenge, we'll be starting as the mansion staff, and we'll be bringing with us a vial of lethal poison and our silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, we are going to make our way to the balcony above the lounge, which is just down the corridor here, and we're going to make our way over into the corner of the room. And as you can see, down below us is our first target, and that is Emma Carlisle. She is going to eventually walk over to her husband, who is sitting on the couch reading the paper, and they will engage in a conversation. And at that point, she will be just in range of the chandelier, and her husband will be just outside of that range. So we're just going to wait for her. She's moving over and the conversation is beginning now. And we're just using the mini-map, and when she stops moving, we're going to drop the chandelier. So that's our first target now taken care of. So we're going to move away from this area rather quickly, and we're going to head over now across the central entrance hall. There is an enforcer patrolling this area, so we're going to make our way past the globe, out onto the balcony, and then up the drain pipe, which will lead us directly to Alexa Carlisle's bedroom. And up here we will encounter 2 housekeeping staff members in the room, both enforcers, and I can see that Alexa and her personal bodyguard are also just heading into the room. So we're just going to wait for Alexa to leave and the housekeeping staff to have their backs turned before hopping in through the window. We're going to approach the chaise lounge and add our lethal poison to the cup of tea. We're then going to once again retrace our steps back out the way we came, again waiting for the serving staff to have their backs to us, and we can then descend back down onto the lower floor. So straight over the balcony, down the drain pipe, there we go, and we can move on. Be aware that the patrolling enforcer is still here, but he has his back to us, so we can just bypass him heading off to the left and down the library stairs. And down here we're going to head for the kitchen area, and we're going to set up our next kill. So straight down the corridor, try to avoid the butler at all costs, as he wanders around a fair bit and is an enforcer. But once we reach the kitchens, we can make our way to the back of the room, collect up a propane cylinder, and then return to the corridor. Now essentially the private investigator, the butler, and Alexa Carlisle are going to have a conversation in the entrance hall, which is currently underway. Eventually Alexa will head back up to her bedroom to finish her tea, and the private investigator and the butler will continue on down the corridor to where we have thrown that propane cylinder. So while we're waiting for all that to happen, we're going to return to the kitchen, retrieve the other propane cylinder, and there you can see Alexa is just finishing up and leaving. So momentarily both of our targets will head this way, both Mr. Fernsby and Mr. Whitmer. So they're going to stop just in the corridor here to continue their conversation, and we're going to blow them both sky high. So that's 3 targets down. We're going to grab our propane cylinder, and we now need to make our way out the opposite side of the building, but obviously there will be quite a lot of panic going on. So our route out of the building is dependent on where the enforcers are. But either way, we're going to head out the side here, and we're heading over to the graveyard and the church area where our next target will be. And our next target is the funeral director. There are a couple of ways of taking this guy out, but my favorite is to land him in the grave itself. I've done this many ways with sniping rifles and explosives and poisons and just generally throwing him in. This is probably one of my favorites though. So we're just going to wait for the funeral director to leave the area. You'll notice we placed our propane cylinder just at the edge of the path where he's standing right now. And when he leaves, we can then get rid of the gardener who is just in front of us. You can see there is another gardener off in the distance there. He has just moved away as well, which gives us the opportunity to render the gardener here unconscious and deposit him in the crate provided. Now we have a few minutes before the funeral director returns, so we're just going to take one quick shot right now at our propane cylinder there, and we're going to wait right here for the director to return and go through his routine. And once he stands at the edge of the grave there, we're going to take our second shot. So he's going to move over in this direction any second now. The gardener in the distance has again moved away, so he won't see us. And once the funeral director is in position, we can pull out our silenced pistol and launch him into the grave. There we go. So that just leaves Alexa, and her kill has already been dealt with, so all that's left for us to do now really is to take care of our exit strategy. And for that we're going to make our way up onto the stairs here, grab the hearse keys, and we're going to wait right here for Alexa to eventually sample her poison tea, and once she has demised or descended into the netherworld, we can then exit via the hearse. So there we go, one more trending contract taken care of. Quite an enjoyable one, although we do come here quite often and have many of the same targets. This one was quite different in some respects. But we got our targets eliminated according to plan, we got our silent assassin rating, and we can move on to our next contract. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.